This month we learned that after nearly 30 years, E3 is finally, definitely 100% dead. Probably. But we're not here to talk about any of that modern stuff because this is a show that's all about retro news. I'm talking about remakes, remasters, re-releases, and, well, pretty much anything else that has to do with old school games and classic consoles. So, get ready to blow into that cartridge because this is retro news with some jerk. Let's do this! After months of rumors and speculation, Sega finally confirmed that they're going to be reviving a number of their classic franchises, some of which actually deserve to be resurrected. Playing into our love of the 1990s era Sega, the company created a weird and effective commercial specifically designed for nostalgia, right down to the famous Sega yell. Sega! This was followed by the reveal of a brand new side-scrolling Shinobi game, a Jet Set Radio reboot, a new Golden Axe game, more Crazy Taxi, and even a Streets of Rage game, which is especially curious given the recent success of Streets of Rage 4. On top of these games, Sega also hinted at more Altered Beast, Kid Chameleon, and Eternal Champions through a trademark filing earlier this month. Obviously, I'm excited to see a new Shinobi game is on the way, and of the games that they showed off in the trailer, it's the one with the most style. I'd also be interested in seeing somebody take another stab at Eternal Champions, because of the 1990s fighting games, it's the one with the most untapped potential. I mean, the idea of plucking characters from different time periods is golden. And that's just one of those franchises that could be huge if it had the right team involved. Speaking of things that are golden, I'm cautiously optimistic about another Golden Axe game, especially after that last 3D entry back in 2008. I love Jet Set Radio and would definitely like to see more of that, but I'm dubious about Crazy Taxi. I love the original in short bursts and all, but I don't know. I'm not sure what it can do to keep with the times. Look, no matter how these games come out, I'm just excited to see that Sega is reaching into their back catalog again. That's honestly one of the things that Atari's been doing really well recently, and I'd argue that Sega has even more untapped franchises to work with. Maybe if a few of these are big hits, we'll finally get another proper Phantasy Star sequel, or maybe a second Fighters Mega Mix game. I mean, I can dream, can't I? When I reviewed the making of Karateka earlier this year, I gave it a perfect A+ rating, so you better believe that I've been ripping my hair out waiting for Digital Eclipse to announce the second game in their Gold Masters series. Well, it looks like my scalp is safe for now because we learned this month that the next target will be none other than one of my favorite video game developers of all time, Llamasoft, the Jeff Minter story. Although he's probably most associated with the Tempest series these days, Jeff has a truly impressive career dating back to the late 1970s. This brand new documentary/game compilation will feature a whopping 42 classic games spread across 8 different platforms, complete with brand new interviews and all of the extras that made the making of Karateka so damn good. This is easily one of the games that I'm the most excited about for 2024. Speaking of Digital Eclipse and their incredible compilations, we learned this month that Atari will be adding free content updates to Atari 50, the anniversary celebration. The first 12 are already available and include a prototype version of Adventure, Save Mary, Bowling, Double Dunk, Maze Craze, Miniature Golf, Moto Rodeo, Super Football, Circus, and homebrew versions of both Adventure 2 and Return to Haunted House, all on the Atari 2600. The new DLC also includes the incredible Lynx game Warbirds, which really goes out of its way to show off the handheld's advanced hardware. More content updates will be available throughout next year, all free for people who already own Atari 50. Considering that this is already a compilation that features more than 100 games in it, this is really just the icing on the top of a very delicious cake. Fingers crossed for more Lynx and Jaguar games. While we're on the topic of Atari, it's worth mentioning that Limited Run Games announced 2 more physical packages compiling some of the best and worst Atari Recharged releases. Atari Recharged Collection 3 features 2 legitimate bangers, with both Yars and Caverns of Mars Recharged, 2 of my favorite games in this entire series. Unfortunately, things are a little bit more mixed when it comes to Atari Recharged Collection 4, which includes Missile Command and Gravitar Recharged. While I enjoyed Gravitar, this version of Missile Command just isn't as engaging as the rest of the games in the series. It's also significantly harder to control. Pre-orders are currently open for both of these games and will run through January 7th. If you're itching to get one, you won't regret going with collection number 3. Speaking of pre-order campaigns, our friends over at Retrobit Publishing currently have Eliminate Down going for a shockingly reasonable price. For those who haven't been keeping track, this is one of those classic 16-bit shoot-em-ups that never got an American or European release, which means that it's going for hundreds of dollars online. To celebrate its 30th anniversary, Retrobit will be releasing a brand new edition that'll play on both the Genesis and of course the Mega Drive, giving everybody a chance to discover this true hidden gem. This new version will include a full color instruction manual, reversible cover, and a cool colored cartridge. After seeing what Retrobit did with both Gyrus and Glay Lancer, not to mention the Toplin collection, I can't wait to get my hands on Eliminate Down. Pre-orders are still open and running through January 2nd. And finally, in what is sad yet predictable news, Nintendo has officially killed the Link's Awakening PC remake. In case you're only hearing about it now, this was a fan-made project that saw the game running at a silky smooth 120 frames per second, with widescreen support and a world that felt like it was one continuous map, not just individual sections. One of the coolest features allowed the player to pull the map all the way out, revealing the entire game on a single screen. Of course, it was always destined to end like this, as Nintendo is always quick to go after these types of fan projects. This isn't the first time, and it definitely won't be the last time. So I guess we'll see what fans come up with next. And you know what? We're going to be covering that next year when we return with brand new episodes of Retro News. See you then, gamers! Hey, thanks for watching the second episode of Retro News. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes, well, anytime there's enough stories to fill up 8 or 10 minutes, give or take. Maybe that's every month, or perhaps it's every couple of weeks. It really depends on what those pesky game companies do. Now here's the question I have for you. What Sega franchise needs to be resurrected? Look, I love that Shinobi and possibly Eternal Champions are going to be getting some attention soon. But Sega has a million franchises that need to be resurrected. Let me see your picks in the comments below, and remember that the right answer is definitely Phantasy Star. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of Nintendo Switch Online Review Crew. And then we'll be back on Sunday with a Christmas Eve surprise. Yeah, you're gonna love it. While you wait for that, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,